A very good morning to all of you. Now we are going to discuss about our third chapter, which is based on mood disorder. Somehow the other way, we use the word कि आज मेरा मूड नहीं है, आज बोर होता है. Or at times we may also say आज खूप छान मूड लागलाय, so let's do it. एखादं काम असेल, so ते immediately, easily, so we say कि okay, चलो हम करते हैं. This kind of reactions, responses, experiences we all have. Of course, it is absolutely normal, it is absolutely general in nature. However, the word again itself speaks a lot. There is disorder between our mood, and that too, which can easily recognize, which can easily experience, noted, either by the person himself, herself, or by his relatives, friends, at times at workplace, even colleagues. So it is called as mood disorder. Sometimes the person is extremely happy, energetic, cheerful, enthusiastic, active in nature, and all of a sudden he may start experiencing very low mood, upset, depressed, sad, irritated, and frustrated, agitated at times. And this kind of fluctuation between moods, it is frequently. The more it becomes a life pattern or lifestyle, the more it starts the affecting part at his or her mental health. So now first we will discuss the outline of mood disorder as such, how far it is important to understand conceptually what exactly mean by mood disorder. And then we'll start with the first type or first important category, which is newly added in DSM-5. The World Health Organization, WHO, the way they frame this particular aspect is, it is a common mental disorder which represents with depressed mood. In addition to this, loss of interest or pleasure. The energy, it has been also decreased. Constant or frequent feelings of guilt or low self-worth. As per Bake, helplessness, hopelessness, and worthlessness. These are the important cognitive triad which these people experience frequently. So not only this particular mood disorder affects our only and only psychological well-being, but in addition to this, gradually it starts affecting, reflecting through our physical health as well, like disturbed sleep, insomnia, hypersomnia, or any other types and variations of sleep disorder. Even appetite. Appetite म्हणजे भूक लागणं. सो ह्या फेज मध्ये एकतर एक्सेसिव्ह इटिंग होतं किंवा अजिबातच भूक लागत नाही. हा पार्ट सुद्धा डिस्टर्ब होतो और इवन फ्लक्च्युएट होतो. And the person is unable to concentrate. The person is unable to take appropriate decisions. And that's why taking care of our own mental health, it is most important. Seeking help for our mood regulation, it is absolutely important, it is absolutely required, and we should support this particular thought. As a responsible citizen and as a responsible psychology student, this particular aspect, it is equally important, because see, the introduction and even the outline of this particular disorder, how far it is important. So here are some statistics that mood disorder, it often comes with symptoms of anxiety. In technical term, it is called as the comorbidity. Apart from this, substantial impairments in an individual's ability to take care of responsibilities. The person is unable, some or the other way, he or she is unable to fulfill the responsibilities task. Again, either at personal, social, and or occupational life. If left untreated, ignored, then unfortunately these mental disorders, especially the mood disorder, the common term which we know, that is depression, even mania at times, if left untreated, unrecognized, आपण ज्याला मराठीमध्ये दुर्लक्षित असं म्हणू, then unfortunately it lead to suicide. Yearly, millions of people, they commit suicide. So last year, 10th of October, the World Mental Health Day. So WHO had a theme only on suicide prevention, because as per statistics, after every 40 seconds, at least one person in the world, they commit suicide. So we can imagine the percentage of depression all over the world. 3,000 suicide deaths are there every day. So see what kind of scope we have as a psychology student in counseling, in psychotherapy, in psychometric testing or so. Around 8 years back only, WHO, they have predicted that depression, mood disorder, suicide, all these things, it will be second leading cause of disability worldwide by 2020. And unfortunately, maximum predictions which WHO had made, it comes true. Now, talking about our India, as per Maine survey, India, it is called as most depressed country, because in India the ratio of depression, it is 1:4. That means out of 4 people, at least one person in India especially suffering from depression at least one phase of his or her entire life. लाईफमध्ये, जीवनामध्ये निदान एकदा तरी 4 पैकी एक व्यक्ती डिप्रेशनच्या फेजमधून जातीये किंवा रादर जाणार आहे, हे प्रेडिक्शन WHO ने खूप आधीच केलेलं आहे. The Times of India, March 30, 2016 only, it has been reported that India's depression level, it is 36% of entire world's population. So you can imagine means what kind of scope and what kind of responsibility we have as a psychology student, either graduate or postgraduate or even after completing basic education, that is BA and MA. After that also we need to polish our skills and practices to deal with entire population, to deal with maximum number of people who are suffering this kind of emotional imbalances. Now I would like to recommend, I would like to suggest that if these are the statistics, I insist you people to search, to refer the recent statistics about depression, about mood disorder. आत्ताची करंट पोझिशन काय आहे? or because of means pandemic or, or corona, means many people are saying ki आता psychological issues खूप वाढले. Fair enough. But do we have actual record? Do we have some kind of statistics or so? In September, October, and even in November, there are officially many researches have been conducted on the same line. So please search about it so that you will have more you will have more application oriented approach and perspective about the theme. Now, means moving on to our next point, that is newly added in DSM-5, which is called as DDD, disruptive dysregulation disorder. As per DSM, severe recurrent temper outbursts, वो शॉर्ट टेम्पर है किंवा त्याचं टेम्पर पटकन लॉस होतं. We use the word very in general or casually, but the meaning sometimes means we are not aware about it. The temper outburst, it manifested verbally. आरडाओरड करणं किंवा चिडचिड करणं in extreme cases, ज्याला आपण verbally abuse करणं म्हणू, तो राग इतका कंट्रोल होत नाही तेव्हा आणि मग नंतर कसं रिफ्लेक्ट होतं. And behaviorally also, that means physical aggression toward people or property. Grossly out of proportion. That means another important criteria of abnormal behavior, that is the behavior which is not under control, can be called as abnormal behavior. So see here, the person's mood or the person himself is unable to regulate his mood, so it is called as disruptive dysregulation disorder. The temper outbursts are inconsistent as compared to developmental level. So as we say की अरे इतके मोठे आहेत पण तरी असं कसं वागतात, इतकं का बरं चिडचिड करतात. And again, means once in a while having if it is related to that particular situation or so, in a way it is absolutely okay. If it is once in a while, again reminding the same thing, repeating the same thing, but if there is consistency, so the word is there recurrent. The temper outbursts are inconsistent with developmental level. Apart from this, on an average, 3 or more times per week. So see how minutely DSM have noted all these things. If it is once in a while, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 महिन्यातून एकदा कधीतरी खूप चिडचिड होणं, it is different, and thrice or more in a week, it is different. The mood between temper outburst is persistently irritable or angry most of the day. And as we have discussed in initial part, it can be easily observable by others also, either parents at home, teachers, peers, friends or so. So A, B, C, D, these criteria should be present to diagnose at least for 1 year. So this pattern, imagine the psychological well-being of a child or the person who is having this kind of issue, and even imagine the life of these people who are living with them. This is what is the importance of mental health. The criteria A and D are present in at least 2 of 3 settings, at home, at school or with peers, and severe in at least one of these. That's why disruptive dysregulation disorder, it is mostly applicable for children, because the diagnosis should not be made for the first time before age, because 4-5 वर्षाचं मूल जर का चिडचिड करत असेल किंवा अपसेट होत असेल किंवा हवं ते खायला नाही मिळालं म्हणून डिस्टर्ब होत असेल, then it is absolutely normal. Please don't be in a hurry to label the child. अरे इसको सायकोलॉजिस्ट के पास लेके चलते हैं किंवा याला काहीतरी झालंच आहे. Have some patience. First try to understand. Consider the timings which DSM has given. The discussion or in touch with any other mental health professional, it is different, which is absolutely important, required, and immediately labeling the child, it is totally different. And even after age 18, if all these things are there, it should not be called as DDD, but it will be recognized as something different mood disorder. So, having discussed DSM-5 in the more conceptually manner, next point, that is some features of it. So see some features, symptoms, identifying aspect is chronic, severe persistent irritability, that is frequent temper outbursts, ways of dealing with other, with too much frustration, the verbal abuse, and all these things reflects in actions as well, like aggression against the property, एकदम पटकन त्याची पेन्सिल नेहमी तोडून टाकणं, हातात येईल ती वस्तू फेकून देणं, all these things. And even at times towards self, the behavior which is harmful for self and others can be called as abnormal behavior. And all these things 3 to 4 times in a week. Angry mood 3 to 2 times in a week. So this is what is most important. So now let's see in more detail that why exactly it happens, or what are the things which lead to have DDD, disruptive dysregulation disorder. Etiology in technical term, already we have discussed that how far it is developmentally inappropriate and all. Genes are also most important. What the child has received from his parents or any other relatives also, the genetic plays most important part. So the biological perspective of behavior, abnormal behavior, it is most important. Youth with disruptive mood dysregulation disorder, or DMDD in short, they have difficulty in attending, in processing, and in responding to negative emotional stimuli, and even social experiences in everyday lives also gets affected. Some studies have shown frequently that these youths, they have some issues in interpreting social cues. That's why the perception, it is most important, because after 6 or means like as per Jean Piaget's theory, after sensory motor developmental stage, the pre-operational stage, concrete operational stage, formal operational stage, slowly, gradually the thinking part, it starts. And that's why at this particular phase and stage only, it is most important to teach children how to understand, how to think, how to interpret, how to perceive a particular situation from holistic point of view. All these things are most important. And therefore, the parental skills like genes, the parents plays most important role in emotional regulation and emotionally uh, making child aware about what exactly it is called. These youths, they may be especially bad at judging others, negative emotional displays, and that's why interpretation, perception, dimensions, these factors are most important. In technical terms, it has been found that their prefrontal cortex is involved in negative thinking, the biological perspective of abnormal behavior. Apart from this, MRI studies, so they have shown that underactivity of the amygdala, hypothalamus, hippocampus, all these things are combined with limbic system. Limbic system, it is also called as emotional brain, and that's why mood disorder, amygdala, it goes hand in hand. The brain area, it plays a role in the interpretation and expression of emotions. So these people or these children, they have some or the other way a disturbed structure of these brain areas. Selectively attend to negative social cues, as we have already discussed over here. Deficits in interpreting social cues and misinterpret the emotional displays of others. And that's why how to listen, what to listen, these are the some social skills, important skills, life skills rather, which we have to teach. In school, in college, or in any other institute, reading, writing, and speaking, these three elements of communication, it is easy to teach, or rather हे शिकवलंच जातं, but listening हे शिकवलं जात नाही. So it is important to teach the child how to listen, how to pay attention to others. Emotions म्हणजे काय, emotionsच्या वेगवेगळ्या शेड्स कुठल्या कुठल्या आहेत. And to be surprised, there are more than 49 emotions which every day some or the other way we express or we experience from others. So all these things, it is most important. Apart from this, to conclude about disruptive dysregulation or disruptive mood dysregulation disorder, researchers in some studies, they have asked children, these specific children, to play computer games which are triggered so that they will lose. While playing these games, these children, they report more agitation and negative emotional arousal than their typically developing peers. And that's why nowadays where screen time is increasing day by day like anything, it is our skill as a teacher, as a parent, that how we can effectively and meaningfully engage children in some constructive activities, in some more important and healthy games also. Greater activity in the medial frontal gyrus and anterior cingulate cortex. These are also important brain areas which are involved in DMDD or DDD. Apart from all these things, in brief, to discuss the treatment, because the paper it is abnormal and or psychopathology, so the focus here less in treatment, but however in psychotherapy paper, in counseling, all these things it will be discussed more in detail. Psychiatric treatment, these drugs are important to treat with DMDD, and cognitive behavior therapy. However, the behavior it is most important factor which plays in this particular case, because for children to get condition for healthy behavior, it is most important. And apart from that, family therapy, it also plays a vital role. Family is the first institute where children learns many things, how to speak, how to interact, how to express, intentional teaching and unintentional teaching, natural social learning skills. The child learns first at home only. And apart from that, interpreting others' emotions, reactions. For that, social skill training. It is also equally important. Now, with other types and other shades of mood disorder, like depression or any other aspects, so that we will continue in our next session. Thank you so much.